Okay, so here is a review for the Unit 3 and 4 quiz. So we've got a number of different code examples to take a look at. So if you have this PowerPoint, you may want to open it up and before watching this video, go through each of the slides and write down what you think your answers, what you think the right answers are, and then you can come back here and then compare your answers and get explanations. So the first set of code blocks that we have, what value will score be after button 1 is clicked? So we have a variable called score and it's set to 1. So the button 1 click event handler happens, and so we're going to change the value of score to whatever the current value is, which is 1, and add 10 to it. So now 1 plus 10 is 11, and 11 is stored in score. So score will be 11 after button 1 is clicked. Okay, next slide. So which blocks are true and which are false? So the first one, 9 greater than or equal to 9. Well, that's true. 9 is, it's not greater than, but it is equal to. So this is greater than or equal to. So this would be true. Next, 7 not equal to 9. That evaluates to true. 7 is not equal to 9, so that would be true. The next one, 10 equal to 10. That is true. 10 is equal to 10. And then the last one, -5 not equal -5. It is equal to -5, so saying that it's not equal to -5 makes that false. Okay, next question. What image will be displayed in image 1 after button 1 is clicked? So we have our index set to 1, and then we've got a list of pictures. And then when the button is clicked, it's going to do some things. So when the button is clicked, we're going to change the value of index to whatever it currently is, which is 1. So we'd say 1 plus 4, 5, and that gets stored in index. So index is now 5. Now it says change the picture in image 1 to use our list of pictures, right? Our list of pictures up here, and go to index. So index is 5, so it starts counting at 1. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Maggie JPG would be put into image 1. Next question. What will display in result label if ball 1 hits the top edge of the canvas? So we've got an edge reached block for ball 1. When the ball hits an edge and we use this event handler, it captures the edge that was reached into this variable called edge. So in this case, that variable edge is going to be put into a text label on the screen. So now it's a matter of interpreting this chart. So we have the edges listed. So the top edge is 1, bottom is -1, right is 3, left is -3. So what happens is when something reaches an edge and it's storing edge, it stores the value, right? It's not storing edge equals, it's only storing the number. So in this case, since we're looking at the top edge, right, the number is 1, so edge would be 1, and then 1 is what's displayed in the result label. Next question. So what will display in result label when button 1 is clicked? So there's a lot of stuff going on in here. We've got 3 different variables, total pay, hours, and rate, and all with different values. So when the button is clicked, we call a procedure that we named getProduct, and we're going to send it, we're going to pass in some parameters for what it's going to need in order to do its job. So we're going to pass hours in, so hours becomes total hours in here, and then rate gets passed into here as final rate. So when this procedure is called, it jumps down here to get product. We get our variables that are being passed in as our parameters. And then we're going to set total pay to, and then we're going to multiply total hours times final rate. So total hours, right? Hours started out as 40, and it gets passed in as total hours here. So total hours here is 40, and final rate, 10, gets passed in as final rate. So 40 times 10, 400. So our total pay is set to 400. And then the result label text is going to display the value of total pay. So result label text will be 400. All right, next question. So when button 1 is clicked, what will display in result image if the score is 82? So you have to be careful with this one. You have to really read through carefully, right? The score is 0, and we're already saying, okay, score is going to change to 82. So when the test button is clicked, it's going to hide the keyboard, and we're actually getting the value from the text box for score. So we really just know here that score is going to be input as 82. So it comes up here and it says if score, which is 82, is 82 greater than or equal to 90, false. So it doesn't change the picture. Now it comes to here, is 82 greater than or equal to 80? True. Change the picture to B. But we're not finished yet, right? Each of these if conditions are evaluated. So now it comes down here and it says if score is 82 greater than or equal to 70. True. So now we change the picture to C. Is 82 greater than or equal to 60? True. Change the picture to D. And then finally it gets to the last if condition. Is 82 greater than or equal to 0? True. And change the picture to an F. So this would display an F in the picture. How about this version? So what displays when the result image if the score is 76? So this is very similar to the last one, except this uses an if, else if structure, which is evaluated differently by the computer. So we say 76, so we get to the if. Is 76 greater than or equal to 90? False. So then it jumps down to this else if. 76 greater than or equal to 80? False. Jumps down to the next else if. 76 greater than or equal to 70? True. Change the picture to C, then stop. It doesn't come down and do any other pieces of this else if. You can see how the code blocks in here are all one big continuous block. So that means a good visual to help you remember this is that this is all one big thing and evaluated. So when it finds a match with an else if, then it stops and it doesn't continue doing any of the rest of this. The one that we looked at before this, you can see how these blocks are individually set up, right? Each has their own complete different one. So each one will be evaluated no matter what. So in this one, the picture would display C, P, and G. Okay, now that you can distinguish better the difference between if and if and if and if and else if, let's look at this question. So what happens if the score is 50, right? And so you can see here this has an if, else if. So if score is 50, greater than or equal to 90, false. Greater than or equal to 80, false. Greater than or equal to 70, false. Greater than or equal to 60, false. So since there aren't any other matching conditions, it's automatically going to come down here and do the else part. So it will show F, P, and G. Next question. So what will display in image 1 when the button is clicked? So this is similar to the other question that we had where we used our list of images. So the button is clicked, index is changed to whatever index is plus 2. So 1 plus 2 is 3, so index is 3. And then our program stops there. It doesn't continue to do this procedure because it's never called, right? There's no place in here that tells it to, okay, now go ahead and do the display pick procedure. So if we did have a procedure call in here to do this, then it would jump down here and use the pictures with index value 3. So 1, 2, and 3 would be Bart. But again, on here, the answer would be nothing displays because this procedure is never called. Okay, next question. When the test button is clicked, what happens? So we start out with a variable has passed test, and it's true. So when the button is clicked, we say, whenever you see the variable, it can be helpful to put in what its value is. So this is true. So is true not equal to true? That's false because true is equal to true. So since this evaluates to false, it would jump down to this else block and it would display thumbs up, and then it would change the source and play the ta-da MP3 sound. Next question. So which conditional statement will make the thumbs down image and display the splat sound? So we want it to get to this else block. We don't want it to run this top block, which means we need a block in here to make this false so that it jumps down here. So let's try A. Has passed test. So we say has passed test is false. So is false not equal to true? False not equal to true is true. And so that means it would, if this evaluates to true, it'll do the then part. But we don't want that. We want else. So let's look at B. So is false equal to true? No, false is not equal to true. So this B is what we would snap up here so that it would be false, and then execute the thumbs down image and play splat. Next question. So which conditional statement should be used for the if condition to see if profits are greater than losses? So this is getting values from some text boxes, and we just want to see what would we snap into this if condition to see in here if profits are greater than losses. So if you look at your options down here, A, right, if profits, and then we have the greater than symbol, losses. So A would be our answer for this. It would not be B because this is greater than or equal to, but we're looking just for greater than. So A would be the answer. Okay, next question. So which conditional statement would be used to see if someone has a fever? And we're also specifying that normal temperature is 98.6. So we've got a constant value for normal to say normal is always 98.6. So whenever you see normal, you can use the value 98.6. And then we have temperature initialized to 0. So we'll get the input from the user to see whatever the temperature is, and we're looking for what block will go in here to tell them that they have a fever. So in other words, we want it to display this then block. So if we come down here, right, if temperature is greater than normal, so normal is 98.6, so if temperature is greater than 98.6, then they have a fever. The second one would not work because it's greater than or equal to, and meaning that if they have a 98.6 temperature, this would still tell them that they had a fever, so that would not be a good solution. C would not work because normal is set to 98.6, and this is checking to see if it's false. And there the number is not going to be, this variable was not set up to be either true or false. It was set up to be a numeric value. And if temperature is equal to temperature, so this would always be true. So if we put that in here, then no matter what the user put in, they would always have a fever. So next question. So what happens when the apply button is clicked? So here we have a loop. And what happens is this clears our output label text to a blank. So if anything was in there from before, it would be wiped out. And then we have a loop. So for each number from 0, it's going to start at 0. And then it comes down to the output label. And it's going to take whatever was in the text label from before, which in this case would start out with nothing. And it would put in our number, right? So 0 gets assigned to number, comes down here, prints 0, and then this is a space. Then it comes back up and we're counting by -1. So now 0 is decremented by -1. So now number is -1. Comes down here, prints what was in the text label before, which is 0 space. Now -1 space. Comes back up, decrements, decreases by -1, so now it's -2. Prints out 0 space, -1 space, -2 space, and it continues doing that loop until it gets to -5, and then after it prints -5 space, then the loop ends. So the output would be 0 space, -1 space, -2 space, -3 space, -4 space, -5 space. Okay, next question. So now we're looping through a list. So we have a list of the days of the week, and when the apply button is clicked, we're clearing out the text label, and then it's going to loop through for each day in our list. Days of the week. So it's going to loop through each one. So it's going to start with Sunday. Sunday gets assigned today. Now we have a condition check. If Sunday is equal to Friday, well, Sunday is not equal to Friday, so it will not do this. There isn't anything else in our loop or an else part in our condition, so it doesn't do anything with Sunday. So then it comes back up. Now we get Monday. Monday gets assigned today. Monday equal to Friday, false. Nothing else to do. Come back up, get the next day of the week. So it will keep looping through here. Once it gets to Friday though, Friday, right, gets assigned today. Friday equals Friday, true. So the output label is going to say Friday is the best day of the week. It's still not finished yet. There's still one more thing in our list, so it comes back up and it gets Saturday. Saturday gets assigned today. Is Saturday equal to Friday? False. So it doesn't do anything with Saturday. And then our loop ends. So our output displays Friday is the best day of the week. And our last question. So this is very similar to the last one where we have our days of the week and we are looping through. But this time we have an else condition in here. So let's start with Sunday. Sunday gets assigned today. If Sunday equals to Friday, it's false. So that means it would jump down here and do the else. So then it's going to put in the output text label. Sunday is just another day of the week. So our first time through the loop, it's going to say Sunday is just another day of the week. This \n is a new line character, so it's going to force anything else that comes after it to be on another line. So that is the else part down here that runs. So now it comes back up and it gets Monday. So Monday gets assigned today. Monday equal to Friday, false. So it comes down here and it prints Monday is just another day of the week. So it's going to continue coming down around through here. Tuesday is not equal to Friday. Wednesday is not equal to Friday. Thursday is not equal to Friday. So it's going to continue to print this out for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Right? So it'll print Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is just another day of the week. Then it comes back up and it gets Friday. Friday is equal to Friday, so it's going to display in the label Friday is the best day of the week. And then we still have more in our list, so it comes back up and it gets Saturday. Saturday equal to Friday, false. Comes down here to the else part, and it will say Saturday is just another day of the week. And so here is what this entire loop will output. Hopefully this review is helpful and will give you some insight into the types of code questions you may come across in your quiz.